phones and so on to be telling us what's going on in the world. And instead their response seems to be to accuse us all of false consciousness, you know? If only the government spend a bit more educating us about global warming, then we'd see the truth, seems to be their line. And this ain't so. I've never come across a greater disjunct between what real people think about something and what the government and the media and so on are telling them to think. It's extraordinary. I think we've got, a divided world. It's like we're living in parallel universes, where on the one hand you've got big government, big oil, big business, the green movement. And on the other hand, you've got ordinary people. We're living in different universes.
That's a key point that you just raised, is that the controlled left always says, oh, you're working for the oil companies if you don't believe in man-made global warming. But then I go look at the main funders. It's big corporations, big oil, the stock markets, who want a new derivative. They don't care if taxes get passed on to the average blue-collar or middle-class worker with a family and bills to pay. I mean, truly, it is the people of the world. And now when you go to any comment page, whether it's YouTube or you name it, literally 90% or more agree with reality. And you've got this 10% telling us we're kooks, we're weirdos, we're crazy. One more example, hundreds of articles a day, literally, announcing global government, announcing world government. But then we talk about it and we get called kooks. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, but that's because the people who are pushing AGW haven't got any arguments or facts on their side. So all they can do is resort to throwing out these accusations. For example, that deniers, so-called deniers, that's to make us look like Holocaust deniers. We are sponsored by big oil. Any scientist who speaks out against man-made global warming, they instantly say, oh, well, he's in the pay of the carbon industry. Well, the fact is that the carbon industry and big oil moved out of denialism a very long time ago. They sponsor eco-conferences. They're heavily exposed to the carbon trading market. They see AGW as a big opportunity to make money. That's how big companies operate. So of course they're not going to back the side that they think is not being championed.
Wasn't it Ken Lay in the mid-1990s with Al Gore that had a bunch of meetings with oil company execs and explained to them that this was a giant scam, they should jump on board?
That was exactly what Ken Lay said. And I think, people in the financial industries, they don't go in there because they care about Mother Nature or because they want to look after polar bears. They do it because, funnily enough, they want to make money. And whatever they see as the best way of making money is the means that they will choose. I mean, that's the nature of finance. But it doesn't mean to say that they've got rightness or truth on their side. They're just vultures picking over whatever they can.
Well, they certainly are. How do you see the collapse of the mainstream media unrolling? I mean, if they are committing suicide, what is that process going to look like?
I think it's going to be messy, because I think what they're going to do, when they realize the mistake they've made, they are going to start fighting back. And we're already seeing this. Have you noticed, for example, how certain media organizations are now trying to ban people from linking to articles on news sites?
That's where I was going next, and we're going to come back and talk about that. You've got Australia saying we're going to employ Chinese-style net censorship of political stuff we don't like. The government will decide off of a complaint system. We've got England talking about maybe we should restrict. We've got Canada, the U.S. now talking about it. I agree. They're going to try to shut us up.
Oh, definitely. In the same way that they're trying to shut down the talk radio stations in America under the fairness doctrine. This idea that because talk radio tends to favor the right rather than the left, because the right have got all the ideas and the left have got none whatsoever, and no one wants to listen to a libtard droning on about his sacco views about the world. So for that reason they decide, oh well, this is unfair. We must get big government to step in.
James, stay there. Got to break again. We'll come right back. Okay, going back to our guest, long segment, I want to sit back and let you talk about whatever you think is most important, how they're implementing global governance by stealth through this carbon system, how they're saying we don't care if countries didn't sign on, we're going to start regulating and controlling you. But when we got cut off, you were talking about censorship and how they're openly announcing how great it is to keep everyone safe. And there's been calls for Lord Monckton in major papers in England that he's a climate tyrant and that he should be charged with treason, literally. I mean, you cannot make this level of brazen tyranny up. So, sir, please continue along those lines.
Yeah, well, I think that the AGW scam, the anthropogenic global warming scam, is the big one. You know, I mean, there are other problems in the world, you know, Obamacare and things like that, and Islamofascism obviously is a big problem. But I would say that the issue whose evil, creeping tentacles delve into ever deeper recesses of our lives, the really big one, the dangerous beast, is undoubtedly man-made global warming and the industry pushing this idea. Because it is an excuse to tax humanity on a scale never before envisaged. They are talking, the International Energy Agency reckons that to reduce man-made global warming to a suitable level, it is going to cost $45 trillion. Now, the human mind cannot conceive even what a billion looks like. A trillion is what? Considerably more than that. And where's this money going to come from and where's it going to go? Well, the place it's going to go is into the pockets of third-world kleptocrat dictators. It's going to go into the pockets of people like Maurice Strong, Al Gore, into the pockets of all the people who
we know has been caught with Saddam and others laundering aid money back to themselves.
I mean, this scam is just unbelievable. It's done in the name of environmental righteousness. I think what half of these yogurt-weaving crusty loons supporting the green movement don't realize is that the people they're in bed with are their most vicious ideological opposites. You know, who would have thought that people like, oh, God, I mean, I don't know whether you're familiar with these guys. George Monbiot, have you ever come across him?
Oh, he openly calls for world government, carbon credit, ration cards.
Yeah, that's the one. Well, but this guy, you know, I mean, for whatever his sad reasons, he wants us to bomb us all back to the agrarian.
He's a control freak.
Yeah, well, he wants us all to live in yurts and to travel around, you know, in coracles, you know, and so we don't have the wheel anymore, and maybe we'll probably even be banned fire. We'll just have to sit around shivering in caves. This is the
actually, you know, Europe has been banning in some countries and putting taxes on fireplaces and space heaters.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I must say, one of my great pleasures in life is going to a pub, an English pub, and sitting outside where there is one of those outdoor heaters and having a cigarette, which we're just about allowed to have in this country. But
and that puts out carbon too.
Yeah, well, exactly. I like to do my bit, strike my tiny blow in the Great War for freedom. Yeah, but I mean, it is an odd scenario where you've got all these crazies going to the Copenhagen to protest in their polar bear costumes and stuff, and the people they're actually marching in support of are the most vicious form of capitalists you could possibly imagine. Now, I believe in the capitalist system, but I believe in the capitalist system that favors the little man, that favors the kind of hard-working entrepreneur, small businessman. What I don't like is corporatism. You know, I mean, this was exactly what happened under Nazi Germany.
It's a piratical system of looters.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is what happened under Nazism. Hitler allowed certain favored business concerns to prosper under his fascist regime. And this is exactly what's happening in the world now. Certain favored big businesses, which can afford to absorb the massive costs which are going to be imposed on us all by carbon trading and so on, these businesses are going to thrive. But people like you and me and your listeners are going to be screwed something rotten.
And those big businesses will pay their cut to the Hermann Goerings and Joseph Goebbels and Adolf Hitlers of today.
Yeah, I don't think these analogies are inappropriate either. I mean, you know William Crystal, who died recently, one of the founders of neoconservatism.
Yes.
He wasn't so interested in the great clash between the Free West and the Soviet Union. What interested him far more was the war between liberalism and, I suppose, what you'd call libertarianism. Because I think he sensed that this was a much more subtle and dangerous